Well, hello friends, and welcome to another YouTube video. What day is it? It's Tuesday, May 29th. It's actually like 8 p.m. so I want to apologize for the lighting because it's definitely not great. I want to get one of those ring light things, but for now we're just dealing. I have a lamp over there, we have my overhead lights on, and it is very dark out there. My window's over there. But this is like literally the best lighting I could find in my entire house, and I want to make sure that I have this video out to you before I start prep, which starts in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 3 freaking days. Bam. The reason I'm sitting down to record this, I tried to do it before, but for some reason everything on my memory card decided to delete. So here we are for round 2. On the bright side, I probably have everything consolidated and organized in my head, so hopefully this is a lot smoother. The other one probably would have been like an hour-long video. So you probably do know from the title that this is going to be a recap of my whole bulking phase, or I guess my most recent bulking phase. So since I kind of decided to compete and started working towards competing, I guess, it's been over 2 years, like 2 years and a month to be exact. And I have gone through 3 different bulking phases. Now, this most recent one has definitely been the most successful, just in terms of actually adding mass, which you guys know if you've followed my channel for a really long time, that it's really, really hard for me to put on size, and I put on quite a bit this most recent bulk, and I definitely have not done a good job documenting it on YouTube. So I did just want to like sit down before I start my prep series, which I am gonna do a prep series, and I just kind of want to go through kind of how my last bulk went, because I feel like on my previous bulks I did kind of keep you guys updated just in terms of like my macros and my physique and that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is, obviously there's not too much, it's like, oh, like I gained weight, right? But I'm just going to show some different progress pictures kind of as I talk through everything and just kind of give you a timeline of how it all went. I was looking back trying to put together a timeline to this video, and my last cut ended mid-November. So I think at the end of my cut, I was about 118 pounds. I was pretty lean. We ended the cut just because my body wasn't really responding anymore, and we didn't want to push too much harder because like my overarching goal was to grow so I would be ready to compete by this year. So it wasn't like why would we push to get leaner if like my systems were restored, my digestion was re-regulated, my insulin sensitivity was re-regulated, which is why we kind of did the cut in the first place. So that's when we ended. I was about 118 pounds, which I don't think I'd lost that much. I think I lost like 10 pounds on that cut. And we started reversing. Now for me, whenever I start reversing, I always I always lose weight, I should say, at the beginning, just I think because my cortisol levels decrease, my body's just a lot more relaxed. So I think for the first, it was a good chunk of time. I remember getting really frustrated. I know for a fact through kind of the end of December, my weight was dropping. I think the lowest I hit was 116. And I kind of like stayed there. I stayed between 116 and 118 until like the end of January. It was kind of one of those things where I always expect it to drop a little bit. I never really start gaining weight until I'm over like 3,000 calories. But it was very frustrating, and we just kept upping and upping food, and I honestly just kind of continued to look the same, if not leaner. So it's kind of a side-by-side of what I looked like at the end of my cut, which you guys already saw, and then kind of what I looked like at the end of January. So by the end of January, things kind of started moving a bit more. I obviously like don't know my exact macros or anything, but I know they were getting pretty high. I know I was like in the high 400 carbs, like probably around 100 grams of fat. And things were just moving very, very slowly. So I think I probably got up to like 120-ish. And then I moved from my apartment where I lived alone, to my apartment or I guess house, apartment, townhouse, I don't know what you call it, whatever. I moved in with my roommates, and that week we kind of just gave my body a break because I just had like a ton of stuff going on. So I took a week off of training, and then we also dropped my macros a lot. I think we dropped me by like 150 grams of carbs that week just to kind of let my body reset. And honestly, my metabolism is so adaptive. I don't think I lost weight. I think I just kind of stayed the same. And I mean, obviously we were trying to grow, so that wasn't optimal, but we just kind of wanted to let my body like chill so then we could ramp things back up. So right after that week, we ramped food right back to where it was previously. And again, I started kind of growing slow and steady. I mean, like really, really slow. Like really slow. So at this point we were just kind of like frustrated. My food just kept going up, and honestly, like there's not much I can fill you in on here. It was just my macros kept increasing. I did a couple full days of eating on here, I think, in between that time. And the highest my macros ever got to on this bulk was at the end of March, I believe. And I was at 580 carb, 120 fat, and 170 protein. I think that's right. And we got to those macros, and it was kind of like, we can't really push much further than this because otherwise your digestion's gonna shut down. And my weight, again, I think it kind of would like slowly go up. I think the highest it got by the end of March, beginning of April, was about 124, but I was kind of sitting around like 122. So I'll insert some pictures of where I was kind of at that point. Now, this, for a lot of you guys who follow me on Instagram, you kind of already know this story. If you don't, I would recommend going and looking at my Instagram and kind of looking in my highlights. I have a section called diabetes, and that's kind of where you'll find this information. But I was talking to Nick, my coach, because we were getting very frustrated, like, what do we do? Like, I was putting on muscle mass and I was recomping, but it wasn't like the growth that we wanted, right? Because we were like, something is missing. And then we started talking about my diabetes. Like, I test my blood sugar before I eat and before I go to bed, and like everything seems fine. But I was like, let me like double check and like make sure, because if you are diabetic or anyone and your blood sugar is running high, your body's not utilizing all the glucose that you are giving it, which you can imagine if my body's not using the carbs I'm giving it, it will make it kind of hard to gain weight, right? So I wore something called a Dexcom, and this is what you'll see on my Instagram. I wish I could show you, but it literally got ripped off of me and I can't find it, which is a huge problem, like a big problem. So they're sending me a replacement, but it's a very expensive something to fall off of you. But it's basically a little monitor that I wear on my butt. You can wear it anywhere, but that's just where I have like body fat, so that's why I wear it. And it reads your blood sugar, your blood glucose levels all the time. And so I put that on, and what I realized is that with all the carbs that I was eating, my blood sugar was spiking super, super high for a decent chunk of time after I ate. But being that I only checked my blood sugar with like a meter, I only checked it before I ate, it would usually be kind of back down by the time I ate my next meal. But if you are running high, like I said, your body's not utilizing the glucose. Your body also, after you have really high blood sugar, is much more insulin resistant than if you aren't running high. Like if your blood sugar is low or normal, you are much more insulin sensitive. So that's another issue, is where when you're insulin resistant, your body isn't utilizing the nutrients you're giving it either. So literally within 24 hours, it was like super easy for me to fix. Like I just have to give my insulin before I eat instead of after. I have to give a little bit more insulin than I was giving. Problem solved, right? So a couple days go by, I'm like, wow, I feel so much better. And then it was a Friday morning, I was 124. I wake up Saturday morning, I think I was 132, like 131.8 maybe. Pretty sure it was one of those, I was like, what? What? I think at the height of any bulk I've ever been on, the highest I got was like 128 maybe, but jumping like 8 pounds overnight is a little bit ridiculous. And a lot of people are like what? Like, how did you feel? How did you deal with that? And honestly, for me, it wasn't an issue of like a body image thing. It was just like your body, like that's a lot of weight to put on at once. And a lot of it was like my muscles filling out, right? But I spilled over so much that I had a lot of extracellular water, so like water retention. And I literally felt like a freaking balloon. And also, you think about just carrying around that much extra weight, like it just coming on really fast. Like it literally felt different, like moving my body. I can't even explain it, but it was just a really weird experience. I like stepped on the scale like 10 times. I was like, what is going on? And it did just feel like a lot of water. Now, over the next few days after that, it did drop. I think I dropped down to like 128-ish, 128, 129. And I chilled there for like a week. But just to kind of go into further detail, basically what happened is my body started utilizing all of the glucose that I was giving it, and my muscles filled out a ton, and I did spill over a little bit, and I like gained a little bit of fat. Obviously there's a lot of water retention, and as the water went away, obviously I dropped a few pounds and kind of like went back to where I was. Now, we didn't drop my food at that point, because we're like, literally there is like no negative shift in body composition. Like, it is literally everything we've been hoping for, right? It just happened a little too quickly. So we kept food the same. I'm going to insert a picture of kind of what I looked like at that 124 and then the like 131, 132, whatever. Here, we kept things the same for a couple weeks. And then all of a sudden my weight started jumping up again, which I mean, it can happen. I was eating like over 4,000 calories, like I think most people would gain weight. So I think I jumped up to like 133, 134 over a couple weeks. And so at that point we did pull back food. And the reason was, it wasn't like for a normal person, like gaining a few pounds in a few weeks was like a bad thing. But we just didn't want to go into this prep in like a less than optimal position, since my body didn't need that much food to grow. It just like from a digestive standpoint, from like any biofeedback standpoint, it wasn't really necessary or optimal to sit there. So what we did is he pulled back my food a little bit, and we've just kind of been maintaining up until this point. So my maintenance right now, obviously I could probably maintain on lower food, but right now with where my metabolism is at, and like we're not opposed to growing, we just really needed to slow it down a little bit. But I have been maintaining at around 134 pounds, and my macros are 420 carb, 100 fat, and 170 protein on all days, which I don't know how many calories that is. I'll put it right here. But that's where I've been since, for the past 5 weeks. 4 or 5 weeks, I've just been chilling there. Like, we haven't changed anything. I'm not doing any cardio. And I feel good. I guess the other thing to add is I did have a week, it was like a week and a half, where my hormones kind of started freaking out. And I honestly think that the reason for that is just because I've never had this much body fat. I've screwed with my hormones so much, honestly. Just between having an eating disorder for 6 years, I had one period before I got my eating disorder, and then I had my period didn't have my period for 6 years while I had my eating disorder. My doctor put me on progesterone, which basically gives you your period. After my eating disorder, I got it for a little bit. Then I went on birth control, which took away my period. And since then, I went off of it about a year and a half ago. Year and a half ago, I don't even know exactly, but it took me a while to get my regular period back, and I think now this is the first time my body's like been at this high of a body fat, like ever. And obviously it's just kind of chilling because like my blood sugar and stuff is under really, really good control. And so I just have like some weird, like intense period symptoms. So my weight did jump up to like high 137s for like a week. And again, this is a totally normal hormonal fluctuation. And like I knew it was hormonal because it was like my boobs hurt, I was breaking out, I was super emotional. I actually had like really bad swelling and water retention. But the minute Mother Nature did her thing. It went right back down to 134. So like that's the only other exciting thing I can think of. But I was literally like, if this is another like something fucking with me, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But that was that, and now we're just chilling. So even then we just kept my food the same because we knew it was something hormonal. Like there was no biofeedback anything off. Like digestion was fine, energy was fine, all that kind of stuff. I went and got blood tests to like make sure we were chilling. We're chilling. Of course they're like, do you want to take birth control to like regulate these symptoms? And I will never again. Just my personal opinion. Now, like I said, I have 3 days until prep starts. So my coach is I start prep on Saturday. I travel home on Thursday, so I'll bring you guys with me for that. I think I'll tell you, I already have my like plan, like my starting macros and stuff that for Saturday. But I'll tell you guys that then. Literally, I'm like, it doesn't even feel like prep macros, but I'll tell you all that kind of when I get home and start prep. And up until then, so I literally just got, the reason I'm recording this video so late is I got an email from my coach, like as I was walking out the door to the gym, telling me to take today through Friday off of training just to deload and make sure that my body is like rested and ready to grind through prep. Because obviously when you are in a deficit and training and doing a lot of cardio, like I will be towards the end, most likely, your body needs that rest. So I'm just taking advantage of it. I have a lot of stuff I want to do before I go, like getting this video up. So I'm really happy I had a chance to record it. But if I missed anything that you think might... So again, if I missed anything or you have questions about anything I talked about, leave it in the comments and I will elaborate in my next video. But I just wanted to get this out here for you guys before prep starts, and it's gonna be such a crazy journey, and I'm really excited, one, to document it for myself, and two, to document it for you guys and share everything. I haven't decided exactly like how many videos per week it's gonna be. I just know that I want to make sure I'm keeping you guys up to date throughout the whole thing, just in terms of kind of like where I'm at, like what my day-to-day looks like, what I'm struggling with. So that's that. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, like not the most exciting video, but at least you guys are kind of like up to date on like what's been going on with Lexi and where she is and all that kind of stuff. So with that, comment, share, like, subscribe, hit the little bell so you don't miss another video. I've seen everyone saying that and I'm like, I didn't even know it was a thing, but hit the bell, okay? And I'll see you guys in the next one.